They were the glamorous faces that defined an era, bold, beautiful, fearless. Week after week, we tuned in to watch them solve crimes, charm their way into closed doors, and make television history. But behind the makeup, the costumes, and the catchy theme music, the actors of Charlie's Angels lived lives filled with passion, pain, triumph, and sometimes tragedy. While the Angels themselves were always front and center, the show's magic came from an ensemble of unforgettable characters, some regulars, some guest stars, each leaving their own unique mark on our memories. In this video, we honor 13 beloved actors from the world of Charlie's Angels, who are no longer with us. Their contributions may have ended in the final credits, but their legacies live on in reruns, in memories, and in the hearts of fans around the world. John Forsythe as Charlie Townsend. John Forsythe may have never appeared on screen in Charlie's Angels, but his resonant, sophisticated voice became one of the most iconic and memorable signatures in television history. As the elusive Charlie Townsend, the unseen boss who directed the Angels on their weekly missions, Forsythe infused the role with gravitas, mystery, and undeniable charm. His distinctive vocal presence became the thread connecting each episode, always delivering instructions through a speakerphone, never revealing his face. This creative decision added to the intrigue of the show and allowed Forsythe to craft a character defined entirely by voice, tone, and delivery. Forsythe joined the original Charlie's Angels cast in 1976 at the age of 58. At the time, he was already a seasoned actor with a flourishing career in both film and television. Interestingly, he was a last-minute replacement for actor Gig Young, who had originally been cast as Charlie but was reportedly too intoxicated to perform. Producer Aaron Spelling immediately thought of Forsythe, who accepted the voiceover role with just a few hours' notice, and ended up recording his lines for the pilot in a bathrobe at his home. Beyond Charlie's Angels, John Forsythe had a long and distinguished career. He was known for his leading role in the sitcom Bachelor Father, and later found renewed fame as the powerful oil tycoon Blake Carrington in the primetime soap opera Dynasty. His voice as Charlie became so iconic that he reprised the role in 2 feature films, Charlie's Angels and Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, voicing the character well into his 80s. John Forsythe passed away on April 1, 2010, at the age of 92, due to complications from pneumonia. Though he was never seen as Charlie, his legacy remains one of the most distinctive in TV history. A masterful performance that proved a voice alone can become legendary. David Doyle as John Bosley. David Doyle brought a unique charm to Charlie's Angels through his portrayal of John Bosley, the indispensable liaison between the mysterious Charlie and the glamorous Angels. Introduced to audiences in 1976 at the age of 42, Doyle played Bosley as more than just a go-between. He was the heart and soul of the team. With his mix of dry humor, loyal devotion, and occasional bumbling antics, Bosley provided levity amid the drama and danger the Angels faced each week. While Bosley could be comical at times, he was never a caricature. Doyle gave the character real depth, an affable, down-to-earth figure who was always on hand to lend support, offer advice, or lighten the mood with a perfectly timed quip. He wasn't just comic relief. He was their confidant and protector. In many ways, Bosley was the viewer's lens into the world of the Angels, an everyman among superwomen. Off-camera, David Doyle was widely regarded as just as warm and affable as the character he portrayed. Known for his professionalism and easygoing nature, he formed genuine friendships with his co-stars and was deeply respected by the cast and crew. Doyle was one of only 2 actors to appear in every episode of the original Charlie's Angels series from 1976 to 1981, a testament to both his popularity and his integral role in the show's success. Before Charlie's Angels, Doyle had built a solid career in television, film, and on stage, including a Tony Award nomination for his work in the Broadway play Beg, Borrow, or Steal. After the series, he continued acting in both live-action and voice-over roles, including the voice of Grandpa Lou Pickles in Rugrats during the 1990s. Tragically, David Doyle passed away on February 26, 1997, from complications related to lung cancer at the age of 67. His death marked the loss of not just a talented actor, but a beloved figure whose warmth and humanity left a lasting imprint on Charlie's Angels and its enduring legacy. Fans didn't just lose Bosley, they lost a friend. Sammy Davis Jr. as himself, guest star. Although Sammy Davis Jr. was not a regular cast member on Charlie's Angels, his unforgettable guest appearance in the Season 3 episode titled The Angels in Vegas, 1978, left an indelible mark on both the show and its audience. Portraying himself, Davis brought his signature style, wit, and charisma to the screen, seamlessly blending reality with fiction in a unique crossover moment. In the episode, he becomes embroiled in a fictional plot involving murder and deception at a Las Vegas casino, giving fans a rare glimpse of his talents in a television drama setting. Born on December 8, 1925, Sammy Davis Jr. was already a legendary entertainer long before his appearance on Charlie's Angels. By the age of 26, he had broken into the upper echelons of show business as a trailblazing African-American performer, earning fame as a singer, dancer, actor, and member of the iconic Rat Pack alongside Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin. Davis shattered racial barriers in the entertainment industry, becoming one of the first black entertainers to receive widespread acclaim in traditionally segregated venues. His guest role on Charlie's Angels was more than just a cameo. It was a moment that celebrated his multifaceted talent and broad appeal. With his unmistakable voice, magnetic stage presence, and natural charm, Davis lit up the screen, reminding viewers why he was one of the most beloved figures in American entertainment. Off-screen, Davis was also a civil rights activist, unafraid to speak out against injustice and fight for equality during a time when doing so came with real risks. He was a complex and passionate man, both glamorous and deeply principled. Sammy Davis Jr. passed away on May 16, 1990, from complications of throat cancer at the age of 64. Though he's gone, his legacy as an artist and barrier breaker endures. Every performer who strives to be bold, original, and unforgettable walks in his footsteps. His appearance on Charlie's Angels remains a shining reminder of his timeless brilliance. Dean Martin as himself, guest star. Though Dean Martin only made a brief guest appearance on Charlie's Angels, his presence added a touch of classic Hollywood glamour that perfectly matched the show's glitzy jet-set aesthetic. Playing himself in the Season 3 episode The Angels in Vegas, 1978, Martin brought his legendary charisma and effortless cool to the screen, creating a memorable moment where fiction and real-life celebrity intertwined. His cameo was more than a novelty. It was a celebration of a showbiz icon whose influence had helped shape the very world that Charlie's Angels inhabited. By the time he appeared on the series, Dean Martin was already a cultural institution. Born Dino Paul Crocetti on June 7, 1917, he rose to fame in the 1940s alongside comedian Jerry Lewis, forming one of the most successful comedy duos in entertainment history. After parting ways with Lewis in the mid-1950s, Martin launched a wildly successful solo career as both a singer and actor. His smooth baritone voice made hits like Everybody Loves Somebody, Ain't That a Kick in the Head, and That's Amore, enduring standards. A founding member of the Rat Pack, alongside Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., and others, Martin became synonymous with the cool, carefree charm of mid-century Las Vegas. His television variety program, The Dean Martin Show, which ran from 1965 to 1974, further cemented his reputation as the epitome of relaxed sophistication, blending comedy, music, and celebrity cameos with seemingly effortless style. Martin's appearance on Charlie's Angels wasn't just a cameo. It was a passing of the torch between generations of Hollywood stardom. The Angels represented modern glamour and independence, while Martin symbolized the enduring elegance of a bygone era. Dean Martin passed away on December 25, 1995, at the age of 78 from acute respiratory failure. His loss was deeply felt throughout the entertainment world. Christopher Lee as Count Dracula. Though Christopher Lee never appeared on a mission with Charlie's Angels, his shadow loomed over the series and its influences, particularly in episodes that flirted with mystery, suspense, and the supernatural. Lee's portrayal of Count Dracula, beginning with Hammer Films' horror of Dracula, redefined the vampire archetype and injected gothic horror with a dark sensuality that captivated audiences around the world. With his imposing height, 6 feet 5 inches, piercing eyes, and velvety baritone voice, Lee turned Dracula into a figure of both terror and allure, one of the most iconic interpretations in cinematic history. Born in London on May 27, 1922, Sir Christopher Frank Carandini Lee led a life as fascinating as the characters he portrayed. Before his acting career took off, he served in World War II, reportedly involved in secretive military operations, though much of his service remains classified. After the war, he entered film in the late 1940s and eventually found his breakthrough with Hammer Horror Studios. As Dracula, Lee would appear in 10 films between 1958 and 1976, forever linking his name with the role of the infamous Count. However, Lee's career was far from confined to the vampire's cape. His versatility allowed him to portray a vast array of memorable villains and complex characters, including Scaramanga in the James Bond film The Man with the Golden Gun, Lord Summerisle in the cult classic The Wicker Man, and later Saruman in The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit trilogies, as well as Count Dooku in Star Wars, Episode II, Attack of the Clones, and Episode III, Revenge of the Sith. A man of intellect, Lee was fluent in multiple languages, an opera-trained singer, and even released heavy metal albums in his later years. He was knighted in 2009 for his services to drama and charity, a fitting recognition of a man whose career spanned 7 decades and nearly 300 film roles. Christopher Lee passed away on June 7, 2015, at the age of 93 due to heart failure. His death marked the end of an era, but his legacy is immortal. A master of transformation and presence, Lee remains one of the great titans of cinema, a true legend whose Count Dracula still casts a chilling, elegant silhouette across the history of horror. Robert Loggia as guest investigator. Robert Loggia's guest appearance as a guest investigator on Charlie's Angels left a memorable impact, even though he was not a regular on the show. His presence brought a dose of intensity and grit that perfectly complemented the show's mix of action and intrigue. Known for playing tough, no-nonsense characters, Loggia added a sense of authority and complexity to his role, which was typical of his career in film and television. Born on January 3, 1930, in New York City, Loggia quickly became known for his commanding performances in both drama and action films. He was a natural fit for roles requiring a strong presence, often portraying characters with layered personalities and hidden vulnerabilities. His most famous works include Scarface, where he played the ruthless Frank Lopez, Jagged Edge, and Big, where he played the gruff but lovable businessman who mentors Tom Hanks's character. Robert Loggia passed away on December 4, 2015. At the age of 85 after a long battle with Alzheimer's disease. His legacy endures through his vast body of work, and his unwavering commitment to authenticity remains etched in cinematic memory. His characters, whether heroes or villains, always felt real, and his impact on film and television is undeniable. Bo Hopkins as Ray the Wild Card Watson. Bo Hopkins brought an unmistakable intensity and raw energy to every role he took on, and his guest appearance as Ray the Wild Card Watson in Charlie's Angels was no exception. Known for portraying dangerous, unpredictable characters, Hopkins fit perfectly into the mold of a complex anti-hero. His portrayal of Ray, a character defined by his fierce unpredictability, matched the wild energy that Hopkins brought to his performances. Even in a brief guest role, Hopkins infused the screen with a palpable tension, leaving an unforgettable impact on the show. Born on February 2, 1942, in Greenville, South Carolina, Hopkins built a career as a versatile actor known for playing the kind of characters that lived on the edge, often violent or misunderstood, but always compelling. He is perhaps best known for his iconic roles in The Wild Bunch, where he played the rebellious and sharp-tongued Lyle, and American Graffiti, where his portrayal of the tough yet likable Joe cemented him as a mainstay in American cinema. Hopkins brought an authenticity and grit to every role, often taking on supporting parts but always leaving a lasting impression. His ability to evoke empathy for the most flawed of characters was one of his greatest talents. Bo Hopkins passed away on May 28, 2022, from a heart attack at the age of 84. Though his roles were often secondary, his powerful performances made him a beloved figure in Hollywood. His legacy endures in films like The Wild Bunch, American Graffiti, and beyond, with his raw charisma continuing to resonate in the minds of viewers long after the credits roll. L.Q. Jones as Frank. L.Q. Jones, a lesser-known name in the Charlie's Angels universe, made a lasting impact on American cinema. While not a main character in the series, his career spanned decades, with roles that left a profound impression. Known for his versatility, he seamlessly shifted between playing sinister villains and complex supporting characters. Born in 1934, Jones built a reputation in the 1950s, becoming famous for his roles in westerns and action films. He was admired for his ability to take on both subtle and intense roles, bringing depth to every performance. In Charlie's Angels, L.Q. Jones appeared in several episodes, adding tension and intrigue with every scene he was in. Though not a central character, his presence always commanded attention, and his portrayal of Frank, though brief, became a memorable part of the series. Apart from acting, Jones contributed as a director and producer, especially in the action and western genres. He passed away on October 9, 2022, at 88 after battling illness. His death marked the loss of a significant yet often overlooked figure in Hollywood, whose supporting roles left an indelible mark on both the industry and audiences. Nancy Fox as Ava. Nancy Fox's portrayal of Eva may not have made top billing, but it carried quiet power. Just 26 at the time, she brought emotional depth and mystery to her performance. Now 74, she lives a private life, rarely making public appearances, yet fans remember her for an understated role that lingered in memory longer than anyone expected. Gary Wood as Joe Danworth. Gary Wood played Joe Danworth, a supporting character from the Love Boat era who crossed into the Angels universe. At 35, he brought sincerity and charm to his performance. Now 83, Wood's legacy is quiet but steady, a familiar face for fans of classic television. Though never a headliner, his contributions remain fondly remembered. Farrah Fawcett as Jill Monroe. Farrah Fawcett wasn't just an angel, she was the angel. Her feathered hair, radiant smile, and athletic poise defined the show's golden era. As Jill Monroe, she was both glamorous and tough, never backing down from a challenge. Off-screen, Fawcett became a symbol of independence and artistic ambition, taking on roles that pushed boundaries. Her battle with cancer was fought publicly and bravely. She passed away on June 25, 2009, at age 62. Her image remains iconic, and her impact still resonates across generations. Tanya Roberts as Julie Rogers. Tanya Roberts joined the Angels in the show's final season, bringing new energy as Julie Rogers, a street-smart fighter with a tough past. Her athleticism and boldness reinvigorated the show at a time it needed fresh spark. Roberts had a notable career beyond the Angels, including roles in A View to a Kill and That 70s Show. She passed away on January 4, 2021, at age 65 due to complications from a urinary tract infection. Her legacy is one of strength and revival. John Carter as Lieutenant Schwartz. John Carter brought gravity and experience to his recurring role as Lieutenant. Schwartz, a police liaison for the Angels. With a steady presence and authoritative demeanor, he grounded the show's wilder elements in realism. Carter had a long career in film and television, often cast in roles of leadership and integrity. He passed away on May 23, 2015, at age 87. His legacy is one of consistency and professionalism, traits that enriched every project he touched. As we remember these iconic actors and their unforgettable contributions, we want to hear from you. Which Charlie's Angels character or actor had the biggest impact on you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dives into Hollywood's legends. Thanks for watching.